Hello, I have a question for you today. Do you ever get scared by things? Think about some of the things that make you feel worried or scared sometimes. We all get worried or scared sometimes. Sometimes people might get scared about certain animals, big, scary, loud animals. Sometimes people get scared of storms, big, loud, scary sounding storms. Sometimes people get scared being in new places, not knowing people, not sure what they should be looking for, or just things that might make them nervous, people that might make them nervous at places. Today I'm here to talk to you about storms, but not just about storms. This story is going to help us think about what we can do when we feel scared during storms and other things. So as we're reading, I want you to think about what scares you sometimes, what makes you scared. And I want you to think about how can we ask God to help us overcome those fears, those things that are scary. So the name of our story today is Rufus and the Scary Storm. Rufus is the character. And what is Rufus? Rufus is a dog, isn't he? There's some other characters in our story, and they're also animals. So Rufus is going to help us learn about being brave. We all have to be brave sometimes, don't we? This book is written by Lucy Bell, illustrated by Michael Garton, and published by Frolic Books, Little Big Steps and Big Faith. There he is. It's raining. Rufus always tried hard to be brave. He liked to think he was the strongest, bravest puppy in the world. Do you sometimes pretend to be extra brave and extra strong by wearing a cape, some superhero clothes? One day, Rufus was feeling especially strong. He lifted a giant branch above his head. His friends were impressed. "Hey guys, watch this," Rufus shouted as he held up two big rocks. But his friends weren't paying any attention. Joe and Ava were staring up at the sky. "Look, Rufus," Ava called out, "the sky is getting dark." Joe pointed. "Clouds are moving in. I think it's going to rain." What do you think? Does it look like it might be rainy? Rufus looked at the sky. It was getting dark. The clouds were moving in, and now the wind was howling too. The wind was blowing hard. Can you see the wind there, swirling around? How does he look? What does his face tell you about how he feels inside? It looks like he's shaking a little. These little marks here tell us he's shaking a little. Just then, it thundered. Rufus covered his ears. Lightning flashed across the sky. Rufus closed his eyes tight. Do you do some of that when it gets stormy out? Rain started to fall. One drop landed right on Rufus's nose. More drops landed on his ears. "Come on, Rufus," Ava yelled. "We'd better get inside until the storm passes." Ava and Joe ran giggling toward a stable. So not everybody is scared of the storm, are they? Some people like storms and some do not, and that's okay. Rufus ran after his friends, but he wasn't giggling, he was whimpering. He was crying. Rufus hated storms. Ava and Joe settled down on the ground in the stable to wait for the storm to pass. Joe started to juggle some pebbles. Ava grabbed a stick to draw in the dirt. Are they finding something to do to pass the time? What do you notice about Rufus? He still looks nervous, still looks scared. But Rufus couldn't play. He cowered in the corner. Outside, the rain kept falling, the lightning kept flashing, and the thunder kept crashing. Every time the thunder crashed, Rufus's whole body trembled. It shook. He looked at his friends. "How can you play right now?" he asked. "Aren't you afraid of the storm?" "I'm not afraid of storms," said Ava, "but I'm afraid of other things like crossing the stream. I don't want to fall in and get wet." "Me too," Joe said. "I don't like climbing up high. I'm afraid to fall." "I'm afraid of noisy storms," Rufus admitted. He was so ashamed. He wanted his friends to think he was big and brave, but Ava and Joe didn't make fun of him. "It's okay to feel afraid, Rufus," Ava said. "Everyone gets scared sometimes. But God watches over us when we're afraid. We can trust God." Rufus inched to the edge of the stable and looked outside. What's he doing? He said, "Dear God, sometimes I get afraid. Please help me to trust you when I'm scared. Amen." Rufus opened his eyes and looked at his friends. He felt a little better. Then he saw something leaning in the corner of the stable, and he got an idea. "Look what I can do," he said. "Wow," said Ava and Joe. Rufus felt like the bravest puppy in the world again. The end. So can you tell me what Rufus was scared of? Rufus was scared of the storm because it was loud. His friends were scared of things too. Do you remember what they were scared of? Different things, not the storm. Let's look. Ava was scared of crossing the stream because she didn't want to fall in and get wet. And Joe was afraid of climbing up high. He was afraid to fall. Everybody has different things they're scared of. What did he do? What did Rufus do when he felt scared? What did he do first? He prayed to God. He said, "God, sometimes I get afraid. Please help me trust you when I'm scared." So he asked God for help. And then what did he do? Did he stay sitting thinking about that storm? He didn't. He found something to do to feel happy and strong and brave. So next time you feel scared about something, I want you to first think about what Rufus did. I want you to think, Rufus prayed, I can pray too. And then Rufus found something to do to help his mind change his thinking, change what he was thinking about. And you can find something that makes you feel comfortable. We can always count on God to help us get through those times that are scary for us. Thank you for listening.